Senator James Lankford and Senator Heidi Heitkamp are teaming up to cut red tape and trim the fat in Washington. Senator Lankford joins us now. He's a member of the Appropriations Subcommittee on Energy and Water. He will soon release a report on government waste titled Federal Fumbles. And watching some of the debate last night, Senator, apparently there is some waste in Washington I wasn't aware of. Did you get to see any of that?
I can assure you there's plenty of waste in Washington, what both we're aware of and what we still dig out and find all the time. But thanks.
I know. It is quite staggering. It's such a daunting task that you have to start somewhere, I guess. Can you explain exactly what we're talking about here? How do you even begin?
Yeah, so the challenge is that really every member of Congress, every member of the Senate, of the House, should dig in and look for areas in their particular committees and find areas to have waste. We have $430 billion in deficit spending this year. There's a lot of complaint about that. There's a lot of conversation about how do we get on top of that. We have to actually get practical solutions on the table. So all of us should work in the areas where we have purview, be able to find the areas of waste and then be able to lay those on the table and say, if we're going to talk about how to get back to $430 billion, there is a way to do that. Let's start working our way through it a little bit at a time and chipping away.
Senator, I don't want to be cynical, but I don't know. Recently I saw an NBC report. I was on some gas station somewhere. It's supposed to cost $500,000, and it came in at $54 million or something. And they asked the government agency how did it happen, and they're like, they had no idea. There's no account. By definition, no one in government has a boss, really. I don't think that takes it seriously in terms of watching the money come in and it's. You know, you just tax people more and you get more money, so why mind your P's and Q's? How do you even do this? It's not, by definition, it's not.
So here's the struggle. Government, you're right, by definition is inefficient. If you want to be efficient, you do a business. Government is not business, and all the illustrations to say government is like a business, it's really not. It has all the inefficiencies of government and will retain that. The only way to make government more efficient is to make it smaller and to make it local. Your local county commissioners are typically a lot more efficient than your federal government is. Saying all that, there are structures that have been put in place. The Inspector Generals, the GAO, they both exist just to be able to look for areas of waste, to be able to gather the reports. There's also an expectation from the agencies that the executive branch has put down to look for areas of duplication. We have to get that. One of the bills that I have on the table is a bill called the Taxpayers' Right to Know. Right now, we literally cannot see a list of every program in the federal government, how it's evaluated, if it's evaluated at all, the number of full-time equivalent employees, and the amount that it spends on each program. You can't deal with duplication if you can't get it all on the table. Every business in America has a list of everything what they do, and they're constantly watching for duplication, except for government. So that's one of the tools we need to add to the toolbox. Well, we already have the Inspector General and GAO to do that. We need to be able to use some of their reports and start digging into this stuff.
Yeah, the problem, Senator, and you were involved talking about Keystone and aspects of that pipeline. We know the oil's coming one way or another on rail or whatever, but that's besides the point. We had Bill Daley on the other day, and when someone tells me that it wouldn't materially add to the economy, and the number he used for jobs was 200, and I said, no, I think it's more than that. But, we don't, one side, straight-faced, 200 jobs. I'm looking at what you said. The State Department says the project will create 42,000 jobs. So is it somewhere between 200 and 42,000? Is it 201? Is it 4,999? Which is it? How does that happen? Who's lying?
In all likelihood, it's both. What they're trying to throw at is long-term numbers. Once the pipeline is actually constructed, once it's fully operational, how many will it take to be able to maintain it and just be able to monitor this pipeline? The good thing about a pipeline is it doesn't take a lot of people to be able to monitor thousands of miles as they're tracking through the equipment. I'm talking about construction jobs. That's welding. That's all the construction. That's all the landman work that goes into this. That's 40,000 plus jobs. The State Department is even the one that says this. The odd thing to me was when the president said that he wasn't going to accept the Keystone Pipeline. He said he didn't feel like it would lower gas prices right now. It wouldn't be enough jobs that we should do a highway bill. This is private sector funding. This is not public funding. And the oddest one to me of all, he says it's not in our national security to purchase oil from unstable countries. Well, I don't know when Canada became an unstable country, but it really seemed a very odd answer to me that he would say we don't want to buy oil from unstable countries.
Did he mention that all the infrastructure projects that the Democrats want, are they permanent jobs? Is that when you build a road, or are the people building the road there for oh, those might be temporary as well, but they don't mention that. With the public sector infrastructure, they don't mention their temporary jobs.
That's correct, and the other challenge of it is it's clear this is taxpayer-funded money.
Right.
When you talk about infrastructure project, when you're talking about private infrastructure for pipelines, that's private money. That's infusion into our economy. That's a positive
thing. Why'd you become a senator? I mean, just talking about this, I don't. You should just resign. I mean, just listening to what you go up against day in and day out, I couldn't even stand it.
It's incredibly frustrating because there's some basic things on energy policy like oil exports. That is old policy. We're already swapping crude oil from Mexico right now for some of their heavy crude coming in for our light sweet and swapping it. We have a commodity that the world wants, this light sweet oil that our refineries don't want. That particular type of oil, we should be able to put that on the world market. That should be a no-brainer. It's a jobs development. It's expansion of our current commodity sales and our trade deficit. This be a simple thing, and it's become an incredibly frustrating process just to be able to put a commodity that we have in abundance on the world market into a place that wants to buy it.
All right. How many elections have you? How long have you been a senator?
I've been a senator for a long time, almost a year now, and so
see, that's
it'll
what
be.
It is. That
we'll keep pushing.
That bright-eyed optimism, I see. You'll learn.
I'll take it,
Senator. Thank you. And Senator Heitkamp is a friend of the show, too. She's great. And
she's been a terrific ally on this. She really has. We've been able to work together a lot on it.
Good. Well, thank you, and good luck in putting up with all that. We'll see you again soon. Thanks.